Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. You know, there's been a few duds this year when it comes to major movies and their box office return. Movie companies have been spending a lot of money on movies, yet they've been getting less money in return, with a few examples of course. Mario, Barbie, and Oppenheimer are probably going to be the major companies' biggest hits this year, but the one movie that's been getting a lot of attention recently is The Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom was released July 4th of 2023 and was distributed by Angel Studios, a smaller, more independent company compared to Disney and Warner Bros. The movie follows Tim Ballard, a CIA agent who takes down child traffickers and brings them to justice for their crimes. After rescuing a young boy from one of the criminals he takes down, he learns that he has a sister who is also being trafficked. Upon learning this, he decides to try and get the CIA to help, but due to certain circumstances, they can't. So in order to save this girl, he will have to leave the CIA and go on his own. He'll embark on a dangerous mission with a lot of criminals, little time to save the girl, and no backup, just to do what's right. This movie will probably be the most profitable film of this year due to its budget being $14.5 million and it grossing over $130 million in the domestic box office. It's safe to say this movie will be one of the biggest along with Oppenheimer, Barbie, and even Mario. I mean, it's a movie about stopping child trafficking. What's not to like about this movie? Surely it's getting positive coverage, right? Oh no. Some major news sites have been trying to slander this film by calling it alt-right or QAnon despite none of these things being present in the film. You'll notice that most of the criticism is outside of the film, specifically with the people who support this film who tend to be conservatives or at the very least moderate. See, this movie was shelved for 5 years. It was owned by 20th Century Fox before it got bought out by Disney. Disney would then not do anything with it, so Angel Studios worked out a deal for the rights to make the movie. Angel Studios would end up getting the last laugh though, because Sound of Freedom would beat Disney's Indiana Jones in the box office. This movie is a litmus test of where people's morals are and why they critique something. If you criticize this movie because of its script, acting, or execution of the movie, that's one thing. But if you dislike the movie because of the meta around it, you might be the issue here. And in this video, I'm going to point out the worst of these offenders, Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker, or Hassan Abi, is an American Twitch streamer and left-wing commentator. If you haven't heard of this guy, lucky you, because this guy will make you lose faith in humanity. Somehow, this guy is both lazy and dumb, yet he has made millions making content like this.
So today I'm going to take you on a sightseeing tour of the oddities
This is literally Steak HQ. Hold on. I'm going to be back in 1 second.
of 8800 Blue Lake Road.
Six and a half hours later.
I don't have a chair planted in front of my laundry machine just so I can watch it run, but each to their own, eh?
I feel like it's got to be like it's got to be, I don't know, like someone who has a disability or something, right? Like it doesn't make any sense.
It boggles my mind that he is popular in any sort of facet. But then again, he's also the product of nepotism, so I guess that would be a factor in this. And of course, because he likes to talk about current issues, he just had to talk about Sound of Freedom, didn't he? So let's get this over with and start with this first video that we'll be watching today. I'm gonna need some strong alcohol for this.
Oh, speaking of insanity, this is another fun moment. Remember how I said, like, the average American is behaving like a medieval peasant? But imagine if we could strap a GoPro onto the medieval peasant and make aware the medieval peasant of the GoPro's existence.
So within seconds of this video, he's going to be calling the people who will be watching the movie medieval peasants. Spoken like a true socialist, Hassan. But he doesn't even know the movie exists at this point. He's just making fun of conservative types.
I'm the evil HVAC man who works for AMC. I turn off all the air conditioners in the theaters showing the sex trafficking movie, or I am evil. Wait, what is The Sound of Freedom? I didn't even know what this is. Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. The QAnon-tinged thriller about child trafficking is designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy-addled boomer.
But of course, the first thing he reads is a hit piece on this movie that actually fits within his narrative. It's probably a better idea to read some non-biased news articles before you read the, slanderous types. Just saying. As he watches the trailer for the movie, he makes a lot of jokes and some really bizarre comments.
God's children are not for sale.
God's children are not for sale. Yeah, God is so against child trafficking. It's God that's against it.
Yeah. God says he's against it in Isaiah 6:1, 1-2, so yeah, he would be against human trafficking. You don't have to be a Christian to understand what Tim Ballard is actually saying here. Though the character is a Christian, he is saying something we can all agree with in a way. He jabs at Christianity a lot because he grew up Islam but is now an atheist, and I guess he feels the need just to say anything against Christians when it's brought up. I really don't care much of what people's beliefs are, but it is really telling when you have such vigor to someone else's religious beliefs.
It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen.
I like that he opens the door and he's sad. He doesn't want the kid to think like, oh, yay, I'm trafficking this child. Like, oh no, what did they do to you, my boy? I'm so sad. I'm so sad about the trafficking that has been done to you. I'm going to reverse traffic now.
Hassan, do you not know what stoicism is? Do you not understand it might be inappropriate for someone to be gleeful towards a kid who's just been trafficked? This clip was making the rounds on the internet and is the main reason for this video I'm making right now. This is why I wanted to talk about him specifically. And I also don't get the reverse trafficking comment. Like, is that a jab at the government or what? He then continues on making fun of the real life Tim Ballard.
Look at the real life guy. You can imagine the horny QAnon woman in this man. Oh, this is the real guy. Oh, dude. Oh, it's over. It's so over. Every Barbara in a 10-mile radius from any AMC theater that plays this movie is, oh my God, they're so wet.
Calling the main actor Jim Caviezel a QAnon type.
Jim Caviezel is also super into QAnon. Oh my Lord, dude. Oh my Lord. He's got the Barbaras and the Debras, you're right. That's why the AC was broken, dude. It's too moist in there. The walls are sweating.
And of course, reading slander-type articles from journalists.
Me on Sound of Freedom, the QAnon-adjacent thriller that pretends to be a real movie much in the same way a pregnancy crisis center pretends to be an actual clinic. Brazilians are already accusing me of pedophilia on Instagram. Enjoy. What is this? So I'm clear, the movie makes no mention of QAnon, but you're presuming that the absence is a dog whistle for QAnon people?
That's actually a reasonable argument there. I wonder what Hassan's got to say about that.
Yeah, if you don't like a movie that features... Oh, God. It's so awful. This is what Radlibs do. This is literally what Radlibs do. It's just now the right is doing it, and they're saying you're a pedophile. Radlibs used to do this and be like, oh, if you like this movie, you're a racist.
He tries to make a one-to-one comparison from people calling you racist for liking a film to people criticizing journalists for their articles. The problem is he leaves out the why part of it. The people who liked The Help were called racist because of the movie's story or tone, while people criticize journalists for calling the film right-wing when there is no mention of politics in the film. Both the people who call you a racist and the journalists are in the wrong though. See, just like how the people didn't understand that The Help wasn't pro-racism because they didn't understand the film, journalists are also calling a film what it is not because they don't understand anything outside of identity politics. Of course, Hassan wants to conflate the two and make it seem like if you don't like the film for a legitimate reason that you'll be called a pedo or you support human trafficking, when in reality we just want you to stop calling a film what it is not.
Fuck off? What do you mean, oh, fuck off? This is straight up looking at a movie and then thinking that, like, watching that movie, consuming that movie says something about your personal politics. It does not. Just enjoy things. Who cares? And then it's also creating this, like, clear moral boundary, or you have to warp every piece of media that you consume to ensure that, like, nobody gets a different message out of it.
Well, we wouldn't have to do that if you would stop calling the movie right wing. All this movie does is tell us a true story on what a man did to save children in danger. The only thing we brought up is that it is kicking Disney's ass, and they deserved it because there is nothing wrong with this film. But yet, every time the left wing brings this film up, they'll lie about it without even seeing the film. Then two guys walk into his room while he's recording, and they really don't say much either. But there's a few things I caught with my ears.
Dude.
We're just doing nothing.
Sound of Freedom is a QAnon-tinged thriller about child trafficking designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy-addled boomer.
Sick.
The movie company is raising awareness by raising $4 million for themselves.
Nice.
This man vocally opposes the release of Sound of Freedom, a movie exposing the reality of child sex trafficking, calling it a QAnon film. Imagine being upset about a movie exposing child sex trafficking and thinking you're the good guys. Dude, it's a movie, man. It's fake, dude. It's fake, brother.
Rocco in any way? Is it based on a true story?
It's based on a true story.
Oh, so it's like an actual movie. I thought it was a documentary. I thought it was him going around the world and freeing
No,
the
that's what I
children.
thought too. No. It's actually just like a movie.
Oh.
If I show you the trailer,
Wait,
you'll understand.
Isn't Taken a movie about the dark side of child trafficking?
but that's not enough. Parents or a coworker is like basically promoting this movie in this line with these lines. My coworker told me about this movie today and how it's the best movie that they don't want you to see.
Who's they?
I wonder. They do bring up two interesting points in this video, one being a statistic on why children are being trafficked.
I think we need to learn the facts. worldschildren.org. Children are trafficked 4 times more likely to be trafficked for labor rather than sex. Wait, hold on.
I mean, the ones who make all our stuff.
66% of child trafficking victims are girls. What can you do about forced labor?
And the most recent conspiracy theory about how AMC theaters are targeting this movie.
We ordered our tickets, paid for them, they were claimed, got the link sent, and this is an AMC theater in Pineville, North Carolina. Some point today, the tickets got refunded to my friend and we couldn't figure out why. So we come anyways to the theater after dinner and they're like, oh, well, we refunded all the tickets because there's no air conditioning in our theaters. Okay, whatever. We don't care. Are you still showing it?
Both these points are very interesting to talk about. It is very interesting to learn that not all child trafficking is sexual, but rather for labor uses, most likely to do something illegal and under the radar. And while I haven't read the study yet, it does seem to be an interesting thing to point out. After all, criminals often do want to run a sketchy operation. As for the AMC conspiracy, it is just a conspiracy with no real legitimacy. It doesn't make any sense because why would a theater sabotage a screening they're going to play rather than just to not show it? These are things you can actually chat about. However, they rather make jokes about it instead.
Wait, hold on.
I mean, the ones who make all our stuff.
Wait, how is a child useful though for fucking labor?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, dude?
Tiny little hands,
fingers,
Compared
dude.
to an adult though.
Yeah, but it's adults so
guess-
hard to traffic. You can fit like so many more kids in a car than you can.
You're
adults.
so right. And also, like, I feel like they're more resilient.
Kids.
What, you can
Yeah.
throw them?
Oh, we were talking about this today. They do.
Yeah.
Their bones are bendy. They like.
Yeah, you like.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay, you just believed what I said.
What, you made it up?
No, I mean I could be wrong, but you just took that on face
No,
value.
it's like a child 100% can cope with like horrific trauma better than an adult can with like
Yeah.
fully fledged opinions. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Thing is like, why are you trying to traffic children for labor when you could just like go to Nebraska?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like many states have unrolled new deregulation specifically surrounding child labor. Like you can do it, you can do it without any sort of like pesky government restrictions. 66% of child trafficking victims are girls. What can you do about forced labor?
Progressive that they're all girls, but they want them for work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's awful.
Ladies belong in the factory floor as well.
And the most
I'm Jewish, and we spent all of the Sabbath cutting the air conditioning in every AMC theater. we started off this because I saw this like freak QAnon mom who was like, "What are they hiding? They refunded our tickets because the AC wasn't working in the theater. I was trying to watch Sound of Freedom." Like, dude, it's awesome. Yeah.
So we get to thinking, why did they not send out a notice in the email saying, hey, we refunded your tickets because there's no air conditioning? And we just are curious why didn't they let us know? There was no one in that theater. There was us four and four other people, 8 people in the theater on a Friday night.
You can't fool her. She's on to you, AMC.
That is a bit suspicious.
Yeah, air conditioning in the lobby. Yeah, guess what? I guess Hillary Clinton cut out the air conditioning. That's what we know.
Look, I don't mind jokes in between conversations about serious issues, but you actually have to talk about the subject at hand. Otherwise, you really don't have nothing to add. And that's what they kind of do with the rest of this video, so let's just go on to the next video we're going to cover and call it quits, okay? I really need to get some sleep. So in the next video, we are going to cover his coverage of Jeremy John's review of the movie. This is actually a part of the same stream as the last video, but like this was before the guys walked in. If you don't know who Jeremy Johns is, he is a movie reviewer who's been part of YouTube since 2009. He actually is pretty reliable with some of his reviews, but I guess Hassan feels differently. So let's see what he has to say.
Jeremy Johns' actual review of the film.
Say in the beginning. Let's just talk about the heavy movie of the week or year.
Dude, this guy still has the exact same background and exact same intro that he's had for like 10 years. What the fuck?
Pretty much the same as the last video, I guess. He does not say anything during the whole review, and when he does, it's really dumb.
A very real look at the world of child trafficking. Not to say it's graphic. It's a PG-13 movie. I appreciate that about it. We know what happens to these children when they're trafficked. We don't need to see it.
No, I do need it. I need to know that child trafficking is bad. Isn't this literally like isn't this exactly what liberals yell about on Twitter? Isn't this exactly what they want? They want to know like no bad characters in movies. Bad things need to be described under zero uncertainty, okay? Child trafficking is so bad, and you got to say it's bad, and you got to make sure that everybody understands it.
Okay.
This film, if it were graphic, I'd have bailed. But I appreciate that it shows that this world of chasing child traffickers, these agents have seen the worst of the worst. I would say it's not a job for everybody. I would argue it's not a job for anybody. They do it because if they don't, who?
Oh, damn, dude. Jeremy's pro-child trafficking, dude. He's like, it's not a job for anybody. Nobody should do it. Nobody should stop child sex traffickers.
Who will?
I'm sorry, what? I don't even get what kind of joke you were trying to make here. When Jeremy said this is not a job for anybody, but someone has to do it, he means there is an agent who has to look at the most horrendous things that have been done to children, because you need evidence to put the criminals away. But for some reason, you had to contort what he said because you want to be funny when in reality, it makes you look desperate for a win.
Time I really saw Jim Caviezel was Frequency. He just has a kind face. Yes, I know he has played villains before, but to me, I don't know, maybe I still see him as Jesus.
Yeah, like when he played Jesus.
But he has a kind...
Hassan Piker is a millionaire for creating content like this. Let that sink in.
One sentence away from just breaking down and crying, but he still has that switch flipped. And really, that's largely all of us in the audience were like that. So it's kind of, it was relatable to see Jim Caviezel be like the rest of us be like Jim Caviezel. If you don't cry in the movie, you did actively try to hold it back. No one's judging anyone here. I'm just saying that's the logistical.
He then goes on to go down to the comment section and, tries to make fun of them, but it just makes him look petty, so.
Saying that's the logistical fact. Also, they use the budget really well in here. The movie.
This film is not about right versus left. It's about saving children. Thank you, JJ. The fact that no celebrities, TV networks, news, politicians haven't mentioned this movie speaks volumes. Finally, a big movie reviewer who hasn't sold out. Big respect. Many years ago, I watched a 700 Club episode. Child predators should never be called martyrs. What? Dude, what is happening, dude? God damn it. Everyone is so fucking stupid.
He also makes a pretty interesting statement regarding the comments, and I don't know, it's really telling to me.
It's like it was content at first, but now it's starting to be a little scary. I think how fucking brain broken people are. Like every single person here genuinely believes that there is like child sex trafficking happening at the highest levels of American society, and it's mostly the Democratic Party, and they're doing it. They're doing the damn thing.
So we're just gonna forget about Jeffrey Epstein and the island. There's a lot of famous people there, with a lot of sex trafficked children. They even got Prince Andrews. No, nothing? Okay.
Also, I feel like this is going to be a concern for some people. So I guess the studio, don't know much about it, but I heard it's a faith-based studio. Also, it's called The Sound of Freedom. Point is, in this politically charged world, I'm sure some people look at this and be like, right wing, whatever. No thanks. But I felt it did a really good job at keeping that out of it. It's not about that. It's not about the right.
Okay, it's definitely about that. Like, the guy is a fucking nut job. The main actor. The movie very much is just like QAnon pedophilia is happening. I mean, I haven't even seen it, and he has. Maybe he's right.
That was the most useless thing he said in this clip. And yet, it was also the most substantive thing he said. You know, an actor's opinions don't always affect the film. Like, I'm not going into a Tom Cruise film expecting him to talk about Scientology or something. So there's that thought-provoking idea for you, Hassan.
In the end, in a weekend of packed movies, I wasn't planning on doing this one, but glad I did. It's an informative film that's a solid thriller in its own right. That's all I ask.
It's just, it's so funny. It's like, I don't know, watching The Pianist and being like, guys, you have to watch this movie to understand that, like, well, it's even worse than I was going to say. You have to understand this movie because, like, you have to watch the movie because it's like the Holocaust is bad. The Nazis did was very wrong. But even then, that's like historical. Okay? This is just looking at a concept that universally everyone knows is bad, which is child trafficking, and being like, thank God someone is finally shining a light on the dark side of child trafficking. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's about time someone said it. It's very brave, honestly.
Apparently he doesn't understand the concept of expanding on something, expanding on why something was awful. There actually might have been people who did not know how awful the Holocaust was. They obviously knew that it happened and that it was bad, but they didn't know the vivid details of it, maybe, And that's what this movie did. That's it, I'm done. So yeah, that was probably the worst take I heard about a movie. I'm gonna go call my doctor and check and see if I have a tumor. But hey, if you enjoyed that video, hey, I'm gonna be making more videos, so please follow, like, subscribe to the channel, do whatever. Alright, I'm out. Bye.